Happy Christmas, Montserrat. This is Howard and my second Christmas in Montserrat, and we're very grateful for this and for the people we are sharing this festive season with. As we all come together with family and friends for Christmas, it's a good time to reflect on the past year, to recognise the challenges, and of course to give thanks for the positives. Globally, it has been a turbulent year. The atrocities in Ukraine continue, as does the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The loss of lives brings great sadness, and these events and the people it affects are, I know, in all of our thoughts and prayers. Closer to home, we of course monitor what is happening in Guyana and Haiti, and we pray for peaceful outcomes. All of these things not only affect individuals, families and nations, but also impact on the global economy. We see the continued challenges on the cost of living, accessibility to goods, and the continued strain globally to provide much needed humanitarian support. As we live here in Montserrat, in this wonderful place, we are constantly reminded of the impact of climate change. COP28 recently concluded with a pledge to reduce fossil fuels, a global commitment. This includes Montserrat. We have had power outages and supply issues ourselves this year, resolved in the main by the increased provision of generator power. Nevertheless, this is still a short-term solution. For longevity, Montserrat needs to move to cleaner, greener, more affordable energy sources. And I'd like to take this opportunity to commend both the public and private sector who work hard to both ensure we have sustainable energy and that we can progress with greener options. Geothermal and solar, for example, have both made positive progress this year. These things take time, commitment and investment. The November Joint Ministerial Council in London enabled further discussions between the Government of Montserrat and UK ministers to look at how best we can work together to bring to life the Government of Montserrat's green energy strategy. Our public service in health continue to innovate and develop. The arrival of the mammography machine and the CT scanner will bring benefits in screening, and we know that early detection really can save lives. We have one of the most talented laboratory teams in the region who, using specialist equipment donated by the UK government, can now test for a wide range of non-communicable diseases. Many of us benefited from this at the recent healthcare fair. The new hospital work continues, and it's good to see the ground clearance underway in preparation for the new construction. We continue to work closely with both UKSA and other regional expertise and have noted a step change in our management of illnesses, moving from reactive to proactive management. Our health is in safe hands. With the support of the UK Capital Investment Programme, or CIPREG, in addition to health and emergency equipment, we have seen support for social housing, design development of a new Parliament building, and the hot mix machine readily awaited arrival. Going forwards, my office will continue to work alongside the Government of Montserrat to not just build and improve physical structures, but to work to strengthen the capabilities of local institutions and promote community self-reliance through sustainable strategies. The UK Caribbean Infrastructure Fund, or UK CIF, through the Caribbean Development Bank and in conjunction with the EU, brings the port development, which is now well underway. Of course, any new project will not please everyone, but having a safer and larger jetty will improve access to Montserrat. By next Christmas, we will see the cruise ships coming alongside, allowing cruise tourism growth. As you know, I'm British, so I have always talked about the weather, a lot, but never so much as this year. We are thankful to have been spared the full force of Hurricane Tammy, although it did allow us to test our responses and ensure that we are ready to act if needed. Thankfully, DMCA and Public Works kept us safe and soon got us back to normal, demonstrating strong teamwork in action. We are now out of hurricane season, but we still have earthquakes and of course the Soufriere Hills, so we must remain vigilant. The teams here continue to develop safety methods and responses in order to keep us all safe. In addition to things we celebrate this year, Montserrat has experienced some sad losses too, and we pray for all who have passed, including Sir Howard Fergus, who leaves a legacy of literature to ensure we do not forget our heritage. Losing our friends or family is never easy, and this time of year can make the pain sharper. I hope that everyone will come together this Christmas to support each other and show kindness and love to one another. Give a little of your time to check in on others and make sure they're okay. 2023 has been a year of change and new projects and initiatives. We have seen progress in inclusion with the launch of Women in Policing and of course the very first commissioned female officer in the Royal Montserrat Defence Force, Miss Carmencita Dewberry. We've welcomed workers across a number of industries this year, from across the region and the world. Working collaboratively with other overseas territories and Crown dependencies, this growth in diversity is to be embraced. It enriches our island, as those that join us become beguiled by the nature and beauty of Montserrat, and they get to share in our culture and heritage, whilst bringing much needed capacity and of course fresh perspectives to work with us as we grow. I recognise that with all the ongoing development work, with people moving around and in and out of Montserrat and global impacts, it's a lot of change happening at once. I know for some that can be unnerving, and we might feel safer looking backwards rather than forward. And so I want to take the opportunity to share with you what I think are some words of wisdom from the former US President, John F. Kennedy, and his view of change. He said, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." Indeed, we must never forget the past. It makes us who and what we are. But I know we recognise the world is changing fast, and it's important for Montserrat that we move with it. 2023 was another great year for Montserrat on the world stage. It was, I know, a moment of great national pride to see officers from our own Royal Montserrat Defence Force march in London with fellow officers from across the overseas territories, Crown dependencies and the British forces as part of their Majesty's coronation, at which the Premier and I were honoured to attend and to represent our territory. It really was quite an emotional moment seeing them all march down the Mall. We've had some terrific sporting representation this year too. We sent teams to both the Commonwealth Youth Games and the Eastern Caribbean Netball Series. In February, Montserrat's cricket team achieved victory in the 3-day match against Nevis in the Leeward Islands cricket tournament. And the triumphs extend to football too, as Montserrat secured 3 victories this year against Barbados twice and most recently against the Dominican Republic. And just this month we saw our basketball team in action at our own invitational with BVI and St Kitts and Nevis. Sport is incredibly important. It is good for health, for team spirit, and when we are lucky enough to represent our territory, an honour and a pride to be part of. Thank you to everyone who has made these sporting events, and those I have not mentioned, a success, from the organisers to the sportsmen and women who compete, and of course those of us who cheer enthusiastically from the sidelines. Our Youth Parliament was represented in the House of Commons with a speech on the topic of inclusion and the need for Montserrat to increase personal development opportunities for our younger generation. This was one of a number of speeches that demonstrated the need for progression and change to meet the needs of the youth. I look forward to working in partnership with government, churches and NGOs in the year ahead on all matters of inclusion. Our younger generation must know that Montserrat is for them and that their contribution is valued. As we continue with the Carnival this week, I wanted to give a special mention to our even younger talents. This year's Christmas concert demonstrated the raft of singers, dancers, actors and even potential comedians coming through. I can imagine them all appearing in Carnival City in years to come. This past week we have been distracted beautifully by the entertainment and events that make Christmas Festival in Montserrat so special. From Pan to Small Beginnings, our amazing Emerald community singers, and of course Calypso. I want to thank the public service too for all that they do. It is not always an easy place to work, nor is the work easy, but what you do is essential for Montserrat, and you are all valued for your contribution. I look forward to continuing to work with you, to support you, as we strive together to do our best for Montserrat into 2024 and beyond. I would also like to offer a heartfelt thanks to all those workers for whom Christmas is not a holiday at all, those who will be on duty over the festive period, providing vital services for the benefit of all of us. our emergency services, our prison staff, our clergy, for anyone who is working this Christmas, thank you. Your dedication and sacrifice does not go unnoticed. I also want to thank the private sector for your service to Montserrat, for the roles you create, for the services you provide, and for your continued investment in our territory. At this time of year, you visibly support Montserrat with the sponsorship of events, but I know this is just one part of the work you all do to help develop the future of Montserrat. So thank you. If one time of year is more likely to draw out goodwill to all men, it's Christmas. Whether you celebrate or not, this is the season associated with giving, kindness, thinking of others, gratitude, and sharing what you have. So today, as we celebrate Christmas, let us not just think of presents or parties, but let us think of each other, our friends, our families, and even those we find more challenging to be with. Let us show our appreciation for the people we have around us, for the positive changes we are making, for our heritage and culture, for our children, and all that collectively creates our beautiful Montserrat. I wish you and your families a very happy and blessed Christmas. Be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, and have a wonderful and enjoyable day. Merry Christmas.